Dear Diary, Day 4. I have redone this video twice because I do not like the way that I look. Now, I could take these off, but if you look, I have all these dark under circles, and I have no idea how to get rid of them. Like, I grew up in a household full of boys, and my mom who never wore makeup because it was for the devil. I don't know. I mean, I could do YouTube videos and stuff like that, but I can't afford all this fancy, like, stuff that they use. So I'm going to go to my, we have a local beauty shop here in town. I'm going to go to that and see if they can't, maybe teach me how to do it or just do it one time for me, put my makeup on, show me how to fix my hair, besides always having to wear it back in a stupid ponytail. Whatever. Yesterday I found out that my cousin Andy, his appendix ruptured, and it was bad. They are going to keep him in the hospital for at least 10 days. They had to do open surgery instead of laparoscopic, and his blood's already septic. So if you could please, if you believe in God, say a little prayer for him, that would be great. I don't know, I've had this thing my whole life where I've felt like other people's feelings, and I've even done that with my pastor and his wife, and my pastor's wife actually thought that I was somewhat empathic, because I came up to her one time. She was just standing there, and I was like, "Is your arm okay?" And she looked at me all concerned, like, she's like, "How did you know my arm was bothering me?" And I was just like, "I don't know, is it okay?" And she said, she got real, wide-eyed, and she's like, "Well, I sprained it, and it hurts very badly, and I've also got some carpal tunnel that I've been dealing with." And I was just like, "Okay, well, I love you, and I'll say a little prayer for you." And she was just, stood there, looking at me like, "Oh." And so, I asked my pastor one time, and he said that they think that I've got, a God-given gift of empathy. And there's several different things that have happened like that with me. Me and my husband were standing in the Chicago airport behind a young lady, and she was acting fine. There was nothing weird about how she was acting. She wasn't freaking out, being like, "Ugh." But I looked at my husband. I said, "The anxiety I'm feeling off of this woman is making my stomach hurt." I said, "She's physically making me ill." And right after I told him that, and mind you, I whispered it to him, she was all like, freaking. Then she started freaking out, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Okay, I'm not okay." She started having a full-blown, hyper, couldn't breathe, And so I was like, "Okay, look at me, breathe with me." And then I said, "Here, let me give you a hug." So I held her, and she wouldn't let me go for 30 seconds. It was really weird and kind of awkward, but she needed that at that time. Come to find out, she was scared to death because she had to fly by herself. And I was like, "Look, honey, I am claustrophobic. Don't even do elevators. So if I can fly, you can fly." I was like, I have a straight up panic attack whenever I get into an elevator. And she just thought that was the funniest thing. She's like, "Elevators? Oh," and she started laughing at me, and I was like, "Really? Rude." But anyway, that's another thing. And I also work as a waitress at a local bar and restaurant here where I live. And I remember walking up to this one table, and this lady, she just looked at me, and I was just like, I kind of cocked my head a little bit. I said, "Would you mind if I gave you a hug?" And she's just like, "Oh, yeah, that's great." So I gave her a big hug, and I was like, "Look," I said, "I don't know what you're going through." And I said, "And I don't need to know. It's none of my business." I said, "But if it was anything what I went through," I said, "I was a single mother of 6 kids for a while after my husband decided he didn't want to be married to me anymore." And I said, I was a single mother at one point in time for 4 years. I said, "So if I can do it, you can do it." And she's just like, "Thank you," And then I told her, I went across the street. There's a little coffee shop across the street, and I got her a chocolate chip cookie, and I brought it back to her. She's like, "Are you totally reading me right now?" I was like, "No, I don't do readings. I don't even know how." I said, "I don't control this stuff. I just feel things sometimes. I don't know. I always grew up Southern Baptist, and I was always told that was bewitchery, and you were gonna go to hell if you were psychic, and it's all the devil. So I don't know. My pastor and his wife of my Presbyterian church that I go to seem to think it's a God's given gift, but like I try not to use it because I'm afraid, like I don't want to piss off, the big man up there. So I don't know. But sometimes I can't help it. Sometimes it's just so like makes me physically sick sometimes, or like I feel so overwhelmed. So like when I walk into places like Walmart or grocery store or even my work, sometimes I will focus on the floor. Not to mention sometimes I find pennies and quarters and money and stuff like that. But because if I don't make eye contact with that person, or if I don't stare at them too long, I don't feel what they feel. I don't have to worry about it. I don't know. I think sometimes I turn it off, which I don't even know how to do that. Like, I think as long as I focus on my jobs, the task, which is when I let myself get relaxed, is when I start feeling things. I always thought I was just crazy. But then I looked up what empathy meant, and a lot of people who are empathic think that they're bipolar. But they're not. So anyway, I guess that's really all for today. I have to go to work at 4 and do some house chores. It's kind of quiet this morning. Junior and Levi, my 2 middle children, they go to their dad's house every weekend because I work on the weekends. That way I don't ever have to find I didn't ever have to find a babysitter when we first got divorced. So that was nice. Now I just miss them like crazy. Whenever they're gone, the house is so quiet. Except Penelope over there playing her Roblox game. Alright, well, I've babbled on long enough. I'll talk to you tomorrow, diary. Bye.